folks, the Celtic Nerd here, bringing you another nerdy video. What we're doing today, folks, is this is going to be my live reaction to the big live stream that that Bethesda is going to be doing in relation to the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake. Now, folks, Oblivion holds a special place in my heart. When it comes to RPGs, it's up there with the likes of Fable. Fable now is my origin story when it comes to RPGs. Like, it is absolutely. Oblivion is the next. It was what introduced me to the Elder Scrolls franchise. It introduced me to like truly massive world RPGs. Now, eventually I did try out the other massive RPG, Two Worlds, but there was something about Oblivion that I always just absolutely loved. I loved how it was first person perspective. Like, if it wasn't for Elder Scrolls Oblivion, I would not have become a fan of Fallout, essentially, or I wouldn't enjoy Starfield and the likes. So now, has Bethesda done some questionable things in the past? Yes. I don't agree with the repeat of re-releasing of Skyrim, but at least with each iteration of the re-release, they gave us something new. So my big question, though, is, from what I've seen of the leaks and whatnot, this is a true remake. Oh, we have a chat ready, so someone's at the posting. Hold on. Alright, I don't see anything in the chat, but the chat rate says 1. Is there a way to refresh the chat? No, I'm not seeing it. Also, I keep getting this bloody reminder about the, like, welcome, guard your privacy and all that. Like, I keep getting this, like, YouTube warning thing, but I can't get rid of it for some reason. Like, it doesn't, there's no crossing out of it. Alright, there, I'm about to click and refresh on the chat there. Okay, yeah, no. But yeah, it is going live in 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Well, 20 seconds there. So, yeah, folks, I'm really looking forward to this. Normally, I was actually about to head out the door to go to Lewisburg, but something came up repeatedly, and I had to bail on Ludosport for today. I'm going to be going in tomorrow during the beginner's class to get some refresher of my Form 1 and the like. I'm also really hoping to get some footage soon for Ludosport, so we can go back to doing Ludo chat. Or we might have to revisit some old videos after I deleted the last few Ludo chats. But yeah, no, folks, I'm really excited for this. Oblivion, like, was one of the... again, I don't want to say... oh no, the game that made me love necromancy in video games like that, was Diablo 2, which I played before Oblivion. So yeah, no, I absolutely loved. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely did enjoy necromancy in Oblivion, which is why I always felt like I always felt disappointed by the necromancy in Skyrim. One of my favorite playthroughs in Oblivion, folks, was, now, because you could do this in Oblivion, you couldn't do it in Skyrim, was my character. I would actually go for a tank build with like all the heavy armors and heavy weapons, but the way I did it was my character would wear, like, you know, plain clothes, like he would wear robes that enhanced my magic, but then I would have hotkeyed a custom spell that I made that I just called Bound Armor, because in Oblivion, unlike in Skyrim, you had multiple like bound armor spells, like for different parts of the body, like, you know, gauntlets, greaves, chest plate, boots, helmet, all that type of stuff. And So what I would do is I would make a custom spell that would combine all those spells together, but I would also ramp up the duration of each one. Now it always cost me a load of magic to do it, but the result was always so cool, because like I would have an enemy running towards me, and then I would just be like, haha, boom, full plate armor with a big great sword. Because you could even that was the thing. There was even a ground great sword. There was a bound weapon for each weapon type. Unlike in Oblivion, you have bound sword, you had bound bow, you have bound great axe, and I think bound dagger. Like, they really were limited. Like, the conjuration skill in Skyrim was quite atrocious. Which is why I've always been on the lookout for mods that expanded spellcasting for Skyrim. I never actually played a modded Oblivion. Alright folks, we're in the last 3 minutes. I will say the screen is a lot darker on my other screen than it is appearing on the stream. I'm wondering if I drag this over. Okay, yeah, no, I shouldn't do that, because otherwise we get the infinite loop. But yeah, no, like, this is fair. Like, these flames are significantly darker on my primary gaming monitor. I also love how the numbers are also fading. Like it's like they're being affected by heat. You can sort of make it out on my second monitor, and like what you guys have seen on the stream, but it's more prevalent on my primary monitor. Funny enough, I never actually covered any of the I don't think I ever covered any of the Elder Scrolls games on my channel. Here we go, folks. We're in the final minute. Oh. "20 seconds. I'm getting excited. Oh, we're not even seeing the... Oh, here we go. The countdown's shifted. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They were taken to the tower. They're behind us. This ends here.
You hold our future in your hands.
Patrick Stewart!
Take with you my blessings and the hope of the Empire. Find him and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
Now, theoretically, there's rumors that this is a shadow release, that they're just going to quietly...
Here we are 20 years later. When you think about the Elder Scrolls, to us it goes beyond game franchise.
Yeah, it's the DNA of Bethesda Game Studios.
Obviously, we're working on the 6th chapter here, but what's great about the Elder Scrolls is being able to look back at all of the chapters, Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, Daggerfall, Arena, and each of them try to define role-playing games and open-world games for their generation.
Fans got so connected with the worlds we've made and these stories we're telling, and it's really amazing.
Oblivion was a real defining moment in the series and for how we make games as a studio. I think when it comes to a remaster, we want people to feel the way they did then, but it's still a game of its time. You want to keep those bones in place. You want some of that old charm.
Coming back to Oblivion now with this tremendous visual update is absolutely amazing. It's the world I remember, but better.
There's so much there, both for the Elder Scrolls world and also this evolution of our games, I think is really, really important for people to take a look back at.
Looking back and seeing everything we've accomplished in the past 20 years and working with these people, like, it's really special.
Yeah, there are still quite a few people that I've worked with for that long, and it sort of gave me the warm fuzzies.
Oh my God, it's been 20 years?
Wow, so they're bringing
I think
a
the
lot
thing
back,
that gets me the
people
most
back.
is the music. Like when you hear that music at the main menu, there's just like... there's
Yes,
this like
it
flood
does.
of nostalgia.
Yeah, I just felt it there.
Oblivion is the beginning of who I am. As an individual, as a game developer, it all starts with it.
I don't even think it took me till release to realize how big this was.
People loved it. Like, they loved it.
Such a key moment in our history of making games and the evolution of how we build these worlds, and having players be able to come back and experience that is really amazing. We had that really special moment of coming out into the world for the first time, what that meant to this game.
Every time we think about Oblivion, it's, what if we could give that moment to everybody again?
I was born 87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see.
Whoa, that jump! Oh, and that music! Oh my god! It is looking stunning! Oh shit!
Whether you're reliving these moments or experiencing them for the first time, the world of Oblivion Remastered immediately looks and feels incredible. When we decided to remaster Oblivion, we were really picky about finding the right partner. From the very beginning of this project, we had one rule. We weren't going to do this if we weren't going to be able to do it right. Our partners at Virtuous went above and beyond to bring our vision to life. The care and love they've poured into the Oblivion Remaster has been absolute.
Are the same people that did other remakes such as the Solid Snake ones.
Our team here has been hard at work delivering the best remastered Oblivion experience possible. We've worked with Bethesda Game Studios on other projects in the past, so we know what makes that team and their games special.
We wanted to make the remaster more friendly to gamers with modern hardware. This is Oblivion in its most complete form.
Oh god, it does absolutely look stunning, folks. Now the key part is the gameplay.
About time someone got here. Huzzah!
Those familiar with only some Elder Scrolls lore will now be able to experience the events that set the stage for Skyrim. You embark on an epic journey to stop the Mythic Dawn cult.
The time of cleansing draws nigh.
From unleashing the Daedric Prince of Destruction.
What was the Oblivion Crisis? What happened to the previous Emperor of Cyrodiil? Why are there only 8 divines instead of 9? In addition to the core game, the remaster contains all add-ons, including story expansions, Shivering Isles, and Knights of the Nine, so you get the full experience.
Nice.
On a personal level, it was really important to me to ensure that we're preserving the magic of the original experience.
Yes, we get the tower.
At the end of the day, we're all fans too.
This is a dream project for me, right? I'm a fan. I have been always a fan.
Well, I played Oblivion for perhaps 10,000 hours.
Oblivion was my first Elder Scrolls game, and it was one of the games that made me want to be a game developer.
The best way to describe it would be to call it a love letter.
You will find your own path, but there will be blood and death before the end.
The lighting looks absolutely stunning, but again, this could just be demonstrations. We don't know if it's going to look like this, you know, in actual gameplay. Now, folks, I will be playing this on the Xbox, so I have to keep that in mind.
The technology we used to create the original was cutting edge at the time, but tools have come a long way since then.
Looks so much better.
The original Oblivion is still the heart and soul of the remaster, but we use Unreal Engine 5 to help achieve all our visual goals. We think of the Oblivion game engine as the brain and Unreal 5 as the body. The brain drives all the world logic and gameplay, and the body brings to life the experience that players have loved for almost 20 years.
But it's not just about pure fidelity. We knew we had to preserve the distinct style, making it as uniquely Oblivion as possible.
Now,
the brush
is,
opens a portal into the painting. You're stuck here like I am.
The Isles, a wonderful place. Good for a visit.
Yes.
Or eternity.
I am curious, are they going to add stuff?
We've leveraged nearly every major feature from the latest version of Unreal 5.
Our goal was to push the visuals to the next level using the latest technologies. We created brand new, highly detailed character models and stunning landscapes that use millions of polygons in each asset, allowing us a truly impressive level of detail in the world. Every single asset in this game was completely redesigned and handcrafted from scratch.
So we implemented an advanced real-time lighting system that accurately simulates how light interacts with the environment. This results in more realistic lighting and atmospheric effects. While the original game had limited dynamic shadows, now the entire world reacts naturally to light.
We used an incredible new lip sync technology that really enhanced performance in our characters.
He left us a warning. Heed it!
And Real Tools helped us create the base mesh of our characters. From there, our artists sculpt each race individually to adapt it to the mesh, allowing us to share the model, rig, and textures. As a result, all races, including Argonians, Orcs, and Khajiits, are built on the same base mesh, making the lip sync system more effective even when the characters have very different facial features.
Welcome to the Guild.
We have access to so many modern rendering features. You'll see them in something as simple as running through a forest. Insects flying around, fish swimming in the water, light filtering through the leaves. Thanks to these technological advances, you feel even more immersed in this living, breathing world. You'll really believe you're in Cyrodiil.
I believe you can handle a more complicated assignment. I would like you to retrieve a carved panel from the central chamber of the High Thane.
So, they're clearly just reusing the audio files.
It's not just visuals that we've modernized in the remaster. It's gameplay. It's UI and UX. It's audio. We've updated features and systems across the board.
We've changed the approach to leveling, which I think will make a lot of people happy. It's inspired by the leveling systems of both Oblivion and Skyrim, so it's the best of both worlds. We were able to fully recreate the character models, creating a physicality that feels more human. You see that in places like combat animations, where there's a lot more separation between the upper and lower body, and all the animations have more flourish. Combat in the original Oblivion didn't have sound effects, visual effects, or hit reactions. Now you'll get blood splatters, sparks, and controller feedback. We know it's a little thing, but little things add up to make the combat more modern and engaging.
There's a proper third-person perspective now. The original had third-person, but there was no crosshair, and we felt the experience could be modernized. One of our goals was to have a third-person view that compared to Starfield in terms of playability. Now, the third-person perspective has all the same control you get from the first-person view.
You have my ear, citizen.
When Oblivion first launched,
Greetings. How goes it? How are you?
disk storage limits meant we couldn't have unique voiceovers for all the races. So we've gone back and recorded new lines of dialogue. Each race represented in the game now sounds unique.
Can't stand the sight of those creatures.
We also made sure to keep in all of the quirkier dialogue.
I really like the way they say hello. Sometimes it's so random and then they just, hi there.
Hi there.
But it's like so nice and creepy at the same time.
Stop! You violated the law. Stop! You violated the law.
Stop, criminal scum!
Stop right there, criminal scum.
Cheese for everyone.
Cheese for everyone!
Okay, see...
We are going to steal one of the Elder Scrolls from the Imperial Palace. You need to find the reading room. The blind priests will deliver a scroll to you there. Do not speak to the priests. They're blindfolded. I've chosen you because you are the best. Good luck.
Stop! You violated the law. Your stolen goods are now forfeited. Then pay with your blood.
As games have developed over the past 20 years, players have come to expect a certain suite of tools and controls.
Like sprinting. Sprinting is an interesting one because it was such a big debate internally among our teams. Some of us were absolute purists, but ultimately, we decided it's 2025 and people are going to want to sprint. In fact, all of the character locomotion has been completely redone from scratch, and that has a huge impact from the very beginning of the game.
Every single updated or new feature was implemented with the player in mind. It all comes down to what makes Oblivion, Oblivion. What are those features that just immediately come to mind for players when they think of the game?
The mini-games are the mini-games. Those are so iconic to Oblivion.
Great! How's it go again?
Like lockpicking. You can put a coat of paint on it, but you can't change it too much because it's part of the core experience.
Whether you're returning to Cyrodiil or you're a newcomer,
I'm going to follow you and watch you and worship the ground you walk on.
you will instantly feel at home. It just feels better. We've modernized a lot, but it's still the same incredible adventure and the same carefully handcrafted world.
Well, it's about time. Do you know how long we've been waiting?
Oblivion is a core part of the story of Bethesda Game Studios.
I've
None
a
of what
big
we're
issue
surrounded
that,
by right
like,
now
that
would
I'm
be
sure
here
everyone has now
if we
seen.
hadn't made that game and if it hadn't been the success that it was. The effort that we put into it, the sort of the love that went into it, I think that comes across on the screen.
To have worked on something that people care enough where you're in a position where you can remaster it, it's a privilege.
And now, to help introduce this game to a new generation of players, I feel so lucky.
I really think that people, when they jump back into the remaster, they're going to be shocked at just how good the game looks.
Oh yeah,
Living Gates look
it looks
absolutely
amazing except for one
incredible,
aspect.
And I think they're just going to find themselves lost in the world.
Even if it's just the music, for example, just walking around for half an hour in the world, you feel something. And that's precious.
You're going back to a world that you've been to before, but it's better somehow. Like, it's an intangible thing, but it's like, it's new, it's fun, like it's exciting again.
But it's ultimately the same game. There was a lot of respect for what was before, and I think the fans will appreciate that.
From all of us at Bethesda Game Studios
and Virtuous,
we want to thank you for joining us today. Oblivion has a very special place in my heart, and being able to work on this remaster and bring it to a new generation of players has been an incredible experience. We were too excited to get it in your hands and didn't want to just show it off to you and then make you have to wait. The best part of my job is that I get to be the one to announce that the Oblivion remaster will be available
now.
Today.
Alright, so the leaks turn out true. They are basically shadow dropping this rather than do a big announcement and then have us wait for a bit.
But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. This is the 27th of Last Seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era, and the final hours of my life. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. This is only the beginning. Worse is yet to come. Looks clear.
A trap! The time of cleansing draws nigh.
Who now will save us from the coming darkness? Find your own path.
Remember the Emperor!
Find him and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
Okay. I'm now just going to mute it, folks, while I talk about the stream. Sorry, about the game. Absolutely love the look of it. It looks absolutely spectacular, except for one area. There's one area which I really have to call out, and I'm not a fan of. I think they may have made a mistake keeping the old audio files. Now, again, I know there's probably some purists out there that'll be like, no. If they were to recast and redo all the dialogue, it wouldn't be Oblivion. Like, fair enough. But I don't know if it's because of... Again, I don't know what's the cause of it, but the dialogue and the way the characters look when they talk seems off. Again, it looks like they may have, like the person said, they're at to putting basically everyone on the same mesh, like all the races. Like the way the Argonian looks when he talks to me seems odd. I understand that they actually acknowledge that how like some of the audio set makes the characters sound a bit creepy to them, like they're upbeat and creepy at the same time. Like I know they acknowledge it, but like, just something seems off with the facial animations. I don't know what it is, and it's just off-putting. Now, gameplay wise, we're about to get a gameplay stream soon. Oh, my stomach. Oh. But yeah, no. From what I saw, the game looks absolutely stunning, except for the facial animations. And again, now this is a remastered, like, because of all the very specific rebuilding of assets. I'm going to jump onto Steam right now and see if oh, here we go. Okay, so folks, hold on, let me just input it here. There we go, so you can see it. Okay, so they are charging €55 for this complete for this supposed remastered. The price going up to €65 if you want the digital deluxe, because again, it wouldn't be Bethesda if they didn't throw in DLC. So let's see, what do we get? Unique digital Akatosh Maroons, Dagon armors, weapons, and horse armor sets. Of course, there'll be. No, okay. You know what really is selling me is the digital art book and the soundtrack. That's what I'm like. That's where I'm. Oh, here we go. They're back.
You.
Ah, hi.
And Wes, who do you have here with you?
This is Finn. Oh yes, he knows his name now. Hello there, Finn. How are you? For the sake of this, we can call him Barbas if you'd like. But he's a sweetie pie, and he wanted to get his time, Mr. DeMille.
That makes sense. I would, if I had a new puppy, I would totally bring that puppy with me everywhere.
I take him everywhere. You ever heard the Harry Nilsson's puppy song?
No.
He's like, I take my puppy everywhere.
Well, for you, both of you joining us, either new or from the direct, we're going to be sharing some gameplay of Wes's old stomping grounds, but newer now with the remastered version.
I can't wait.
So, Wes, for those that do not know you, first, shame on you if you don't, but if you don't, why don't you tell our friends here what role you have done in Oblivion?
In Oblivion, you're going to probably bring some memes back to life.
Can't wait.
So if like you walk out of someplace with a fork, I would be there going, "Hold, criminal scum! Your stolen goods are now forfeit. Pay with your blood." That's a lovely one. The
That's very
Imperial Guard
aggressive.
song
Oh
is out
shit,
there
he
now,
did that
and
voice
all
as
sorts
well.
of things that people had fun with. Sheogorath, Daedric Prince of Madness, at your service. And I love this because I'll never be able to order a cheese pizza again because people use the soundboard and they call the pizza shops and they're saying, what can I do for you today? Cheese! You want a cheese pizza? I want cheese for everyone! Oh, how many would that be, sir? And so I can't call anywhere as Sheogorath to order a pizza because I'll never get it, or I'll get it with a lot of
I mean,
spit.
honestly, you're doing everybody a favor if you do. So.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and your shirt is totally on theme today as well.
Yeah, wearing my Sheo shirt. I've got, and of course, there's, where is it? My Dark Brotherhood pin here. Lucian LeChance of the Dark Brotherhood, dear child of Sith.
Fuck!
I don't spread rumors, dear child. I create them. So, yeah, I loved Oblivion. Oblivion to me was, I mean, I've loved all the games. I loved Morrowind. Ah, yes, we've been expecting you. Come right in. I love Skyrim, which is fantastic. But Oblivion to me was where I came out to play. And it was the original.
What voice did he not do?
All the races had the same voices. Oh man, there's so much crossbreeding amongst the Imperial Guard, you know, mom, dad, the family reunions were very confusing. But
it's a lot of love.
I know, but I just absolutely loved that game, and as other games came along, and then you got to see Skyrim with its 10th anniversary edition. And when I first put that on the Xbox Series X, oh my God, the visuals to me were just, I was blown away. And to make Oblivion now have that kind of feel, that kind of look, the gameplay, the graphics, I mean, if I walk up to a lady in the middle of one of the towns and tap her on the shoulder and she turns around and does not look like Terry Jones in drag from Monty Python, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I mean, I love the game. So now people are going to get a chance to see it with brand new eyes. And for people who've only ever played Skyrim, this is going to be kind of a revelation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the predecessor, so it's taking people back.
Oh my goodness, look at that. And this is the mouth to the Shivering Isles. Look at the difference, the graphics, how sumptuous it is, the detail on this. Not just on the backgrounds, not just every leaf on a tree, but looking at the clothing, at the uniforms that they're wearing. I mean, he's wearing leather, and he's wearing some fur, and you're seeing all the details on every little thing. This guard right here, this guard, people are like, that's so effective. He seems to have this cold out there in the middle of this island where the winds are whipping around, and I had a cold. I was really, really sick that day. But
you didn't have to go that hard into the role, Wes.
I know, I'm method, so method. But look at that. Now,
so he voiced that guy as well.
What's going to happen?
And he...
Oh, look at the screens. Even the screens, the loading screens look so much sweeter and more detailed. And there he is. Haskell! Look at him, sitting there all bald and boring. Haskell, your room's very dark, just like your personality. Hurry up and talk. Oh, look at the detail on Haskell's face. You can really see what living with Shea Gorth has done to him. He looks like Marley's ghost there.
I mean, this is the first time you're seeing the remastered,
This is the first
isn't it?
time I've seen any of this, and the detail and the expression on the face, he just looks so weary, so put upon.
Well, it's been almost 20 years, so we've had a lot of ability for technical advancements from there. So
Yes, and imagine
and age, I guess, for
20,
him as well.
20 years in the service of Shea Gorth is going to age anybody,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I like his puffy sleeves there. The little Seinfeld puffy sleeves.
Now, what would you say your favorite role has been for Oblivion, or which character do you feel like you gravitated the most towards?
Well, that's the thing people ask me all the time, who's your favorite character to play this? And that's a Sophie's choice, because you bring a little of yourself to every role you do. You got to bring, these are all like my children. So, I mean, I love Lucian, I love Shea Gorth, I love them all for very different reasons. I remember working with Mark Lampert for this game.
See,
and
okay.
we're doing the same.
Now that I'm seeing that gameplay bit there, it looked the humans seem like they benefited the most.
Capital, but he's still very much the Imperial.
Okay, yeah, I need to.
But then he
mute
gets
this
to
for a little
Lucy
bit.
and he goes, "This guy's."
No, actually, I'll pause it. So, looking at Haskell talking, the lip sync and everything looks a lot better. Like again, it just looks really better. So maybe it's because like it's only going to be the beast races that are going to be affected by the whole situation that I'm having issues with.
A little different, a little darker, a little more macabre. So I think about it for a second, and I start going into this thing, and in my mind, you try to get an image of who the character is. And for me, he was twisted and gaunt and bent and just insidious.
Does it take you? Is it that quick for you sometimes when you like get a breakdown of a character?
Sometimes it can, and sometimes I take time. Shea was a different thing, but with Lucian, I had a come here, Bubby. It's okay. With Lucian, the image I had in my mind as I portrayed him at first was completely different from the image of what he ended up looking like. You know, he ended up looking, they made him this gorgeous guy, you know, and when we're looking at him going, oh my God, he's gorgeous. He has a heart of darkness, the perfect man. So, but he was so much fun to do. And people say, do you know what happened to him? Spoilers. You just finish your lines. So when I'm playing the game and I get to that point in the game, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm experiencing it as well. And, oh, look at this, the butterflies. The breakaway into the Shivering Isles and the butterflies. That is beautiful. And Haskell's out of there, man. It's quitting time. Look at that. Through the fringe of madness. Yeah, with Shea Gorath, I had about a week to prepare. And I was told, we want something a little more stand-up, but we want him to feel dangerous but funny. And they said, maybe something like Robin Williams. And I thought, no, Robin Williams was a bit too cuddly, you know. As Shea Gorath, I'll skip rope with your entrails. I don't believe you. So,
admittedly, that would be an interesting thing
yeah.
to see Robin Williams talking about.
I know, but I thought, where could I find my inspiration for this character?
Joker.
And I started thinking about different stand-up comedians who would I find dangerous, that I would love to have a drink with, and laugh and joke, but afraid they might beat me up at the end of the night. And I came up with Billy Connolly, the Scottish comedian.
Oh yes.
But I thought, I can't just do a straight up Billy Connolly. He can be my spirit animal. But
now, I honestly thought he was the actor.
It felt he's not Scottish. And I thought, well, I've got this friend who runs the Irish Channel down in DC. His name is Tom Stack. And Tom he's from Cork, Ireland. And so there's this Irish accent. And I thought, what if, because he's got mania and dementia, this character can go between an accent fluidly. Like you think he might be Irish, you think then maybe he's Scottish when he gets more manic. But what happens when he gets deadly serious? There are a few moments where it drops completely. Why? Because everything else is an affectation. He does what he wishes to do. And so, like the brain pie line, where you'll hear all three separate things. And he's like, and he starts wondering what you're like, perhaps brain pie. Perfect! Care to donate?
Adds that extra layer of terror to his character for sure.
And you just don't know where he's going to land with some of these things. Whether it's friendly, whether it's deadly, whether it's over the top, whether he's crazy mad. I just had to sit there and let that thing flow back and forth. And I think from what I was told later, Todd was listening to it and they weren't expecting that. And so it threw him off a little at first. And then the more he listened to it, the more he was like, oh, no, I like this. I like this. And that's who Sheo became.
And you define the character through multiple games and multiple universes.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to, I love more than anything trying to figure out who a character is. And the Rubik's Cube of their personality and the whole thing.
And I imagine though the character is designed by somebody else, that you get to input a lot of your influence and sort of direction on it, even still.
Well, you have to bring a sense of life to it. Whereas when someone is writing it, they're bringing their sense of life to it, their experience. But you don't know their experience, but you know the circumstances of the character, and you can build something upon the character, and then, you know, live in that space, become somewhat that character, which is why every one of them become like children of mine.
I hope you don't become too much.
Oh, no. There are some days. The one I don't want to become the more like is Hermaeus Mora. And
that would also be terrifying, yes.
Yeah, Mel Blanc used to look at the photographs of the characters that he was doing, and would base them on that. Like Socio Sergala from Morrowind, I saw him. So every one of the Bretons seemed like an old bald guy with a goatee. But you look at Hermaeus Mora and you're like, 1,000,000 eyeballs and 1,000,000 tentacles. What does that sound like? And you know, I worked with D.B. Cooper as the director for the ESO, and we had to do some adaptation because he was very slow and ponderous in some of the earlier games, and with clips and lisps and clicks and all this. But I adapted it but kept it the same as well. And the explanation that I come up with, why does he sound a little bit different? Where on Hermaeus Mora do you see a mouth?
I don't even want to know where the mouth is, honestly.
I know. I think you're hearing him telepathically. And just like with every telepathic thing, you may have a better receptor to hear than another character would have.
Yeah, that makes
Some
sense.
people would have a less sensory perception, and so it might be a little more muddled. It might be a little more clicky, it might be a little draggy, because that is how your extrasensory perception of their voice is. However, if you're a little stronger and you've got a little bit more going for you in that regard, suddenly it's a little clearer. It's like the difference between the Beatles listening to Helter Skelter on vinyl, then later on CD. Oh, it's so much clearer. Manson was like, I wasn't meant to kill anybody after all. So yeah.
Okay.
That's there. Long answer, but
it's a perfect
I
answer.
love doing it. I love doing it.
And I know you don't have necessarily a favorite character because they are your children, but do you have a favorite line that you've done, or at least like maybe a handful of lines?
I do love the line where, you know, Lucien LeChance does say, "I don't spread rumors, dear child. I create them." And the only thing that bugs me is when Knights of the Nine came in, you're talking to Lucien and you ask him about rumors, and he goes, "I heard there's a prophet down by the..." And I'm like, no! No, Lucien, come on, man.
Just the time to do them. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I do love some of those lines. The cheese line really took off. I mean, the cheese for everyone.
I mean, I got you the sign specifically.
I know, look at that, cheese for everyone. It was just a couple of lines in the middle of Oblivion, and it took off and had a life of its own.
I mean, who doesn't love cheese? Though,
Everybody
for real?
loves
like,
cheese.
If somebody said it to me, I'd be really happy.
Yeah. I went to Amsterdam with the ESO crew and went to the cheese shop, bought a bunch of cheese and took a picture out there, and everybody was just like, "Well, there he is in his natural habitat. Cheese." And it wasn't enough for everyone. Sorry.
That would have been a lot of cheese. You probably would have we had to ransack the whole shop.
You got to go through customs.
It's difficult. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Yeah. How much cheese do you think you're going to eat, sir?
Enough.
Enough cheese. Is there ever enough?
There's never enough cheese.
No, we're still in the Shivering Isles, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to traipse around the Shivering Isles for a little while.
And look at some of the faces and the hair, so much more defined.
And this is something that does come in the remastered. You get all of the DLC with it, so.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's the full package.
So you get Knights of the Nine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Pelin the White Strake. I was Pelin, but you know, it's one of the ones that people don't think about. What's the guy's name? Begins with a U. Lives in a cave. You get the Staff of Sheogorath from him later.
I'm looking at my friends off camera.
I forgot that I'd done the character.
Oh, really?
And I'm playing.
I guess when you do so
game.
many, it probably is just like kind of blurs together unless it's something like really big, right?
Some of them really stand out. They're much bigger, but I was the torturer. I was the guy, as a Hermes Columbus, the suicidal guy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all fun roles to play. But I love how the suicidal guy is begging you to kill him, and at the end he's like, "What are you doing?" But all the voices in this are the same, so we get to hear this fella right here, yeah?
Yep.
Craig Seckler is
that's not gonna sit
the
up.
adoring fan. And seeing him
I
wearing
didn't
one of
murder him,
those,
I swear. I mean, not yet anyway.
look
but-
at that. Like,
Should I?
Yeah, in tribute to Craig.
How do I look?
Lovely, it's lovely.
My sword.
Like a rock star.
Should I just keep this on the whole time? Man, you got to do that lockpick quick. I remember we did an Oblivion stream.
That's a little different,
couple
isn't
years
it?
ago, and it was like torture watching my friend try to do the lockpick and just failing every single time. But yeah, the same lock.
Watching someone play a game is fun, like this, when you're battling skeletons. When it takes them an hour to pick a lock, and they're saving and going back again and again and again, it's like, call me.
It's funny
wake
at
me up.
first, and that was a live stream too. So it was funny at
Oh, no.
first, but then it's just like, okay, all right, and then stream's over, rage quit,
Lockpick, the live stream.
So can you tell us anything about your first interaction with Bethesda Game Studios, like how you started with the team here?
My first game was Morrowind, and I went, we were recording at a place called Absolute Pitch in DC. A fellow by the name of Chip Ellinghouse was recording us. But my director was Todd Howard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we sat there and went through all the different characters, the Bretons, and different Daedric gods, and some orcs, and all sorts of things. We were having a good time. I do remember going.
Now, folks, I am enjoying this stream. I'm trying to focus more on the gameplay because this is supposed to be the gameplay section, but it's turning more into an interview of apparently what is just a legendary actor throughout all Elder Scrolls. Apparently he's been part of the studio ever since bloody Elder Scrolls Morrowind. Like I'm shocked about some of the voices that he's done. But
Morrowind was kind of a real departure for the.
we had an opportunity to see some decent action gameplay, but again, it keeps diverting to the to these guys. So it's hard to see. This sprinting animation seems okay. With the bike gone now, the sprint. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the sprinting animation looks off from what I'm seeing.
Which was interesting because I had not had the experience of I've done some games and things of that sort. I've
But yeah,
played, I think in Unreal
so
2, like
it looks
200
like all the
different people
leaks
dying and 500.
are correct, folks. Like every single leak seems like it's correct that it's going to be launched today. Now there was the initial leak for yesterday was the week of the 21st. Hold on, folks. I need to close my window. It's the motorbike. There we go. Oh, my stomach. Oh, stomach's not well. Yeah. So far, two things that I've noticed that I'm not a big fan of. The way the other races look when talking. Like, there's just some things that I like. The dialogue now again. The dialogue has always been a bit iffy, like in terms of Oblivion. Like, if you anyone who says the animations and whatnot of Oblivion dialogue was perfect is lying to themselves. They're blinded by nostalgia. But I do feel like talking to the beast races of Skyrim seems a lot smoother than what we saw in the initial trailer, folks. I don't know. It just seems off the way they did the Beast folks for this remastered. I feel like it's a mistake that they've decided to make like basically a universal mesh, so to better accommodate the lip sync AI, and then there's also, I feel like it's a little bit of a mistake to completely just, from what I can see, they're completely just, everything about the game is rebuilt from the ground up, with one exception. The audio they brought in, like from what it looks like, they brought in no new voice actors. They did not do any new recastings. It is 100% just, they just retook all the audio files from Oblivion and just poured them up. That's all it seems like to me. And I feel like that is in terms of NPC interaction, I feel like that's going to put a hand, like they basically tied a hand behind their backs there. Now, obviously, I'm going to get the game because I absolutely loved Oblivion. I'm going to try it out. I might try it out soon once certain things come true. But I don't know, folks. I'm fairly skeptical of, like, because again, this is supposed to be the gameplay section, but we're mostly viewing these. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the interview, but this, they should have swapped them around. This interview that's going on should be in the small box, and then the game should be in the big box, because this is supposed to be the gameplay reveal portion.
And I started dreaming in that world.
So yeah, with that being said, we're going to end this here, folks. I'll cover the gameplay later today, if I'm able. My stomach. I'm just going to have to end this here, folks. I'm the Celtic Nerd. Sign now. One name, one sky.